Our interest has been Asian-centric cancer for obvious reason because we are in the center of Southeast Asia. So the cancer that we study are actually the cancer or tumors that have higher incidence in Asia, in the region. And the upper urinary tract urothelial cancer is already known to be highly prevalent, or at least has a higher incidence in Taiwan. And we have been collaborating with our colleagues in Taiwan to look at the genetic background of this particular type of cancer. And for the second tumor type, which is the fibroepithelial tumors, again, we also realized that for the one particular type called phylloides tumor, there is a higher incidence, about 7-fold, more common in Asian women as compared with the Caucasian women. We have characterized and identified mutation signature associated with a carcinogen called aristolochic acid, short for AA. That is found actually in or derived from a herbal plant. So the plant species called Aristolochia. And this plant is frequently used in the preparation of herbal medicine. And they are used for different indications, from cough suppression to slimming to gout inflammation. So it was once widely used. Of course, in many countries, it's banned, but still, people can have access to some of this herbal medicine, some maybe through internet, and some people simply are not aware of it because usually in herbal medicine, people don't know the detailed component that are contained in the herbal medicine. So we identified this particular very peculiar and unique mutation signature. So for example, this carcinogen always causes a change of A to T, the nucleotide. And you see a massive loads of these changes in the tumors that are associated with this carcinogen. So if, in a way, we can use this approach to screen for exposure to this carcinogen in other cancer types. And because still we don't know enough how much and how prevalent this problem is. One thing is that until our study, it was not known to be associated with liver cancer, which is a very common and deadly cancer, particularly in Asia. And now we found that about probably 10% of liver cancer from southern China and Taiwan probably associated with AA. Another thing is that it may also be involved in a subset of liver cancer even in the West, because not only Asian or Chinese take herbal medicine, some Caucasian people may also take herbal medicine. Fibroepithelial tumor is considerably understudied, so its genetic background was not known. So we are very lucky to identify a particular gene called MET12 that is frequently mutated in one subtype of fibroepithelial tumors called fibroadenoma. And this is a benign tumor, but it's very common. It occurs in probably 1 in 10 young women. And it is a benign, but still quite a lot of people undergo surgery just to remove them. And obviously, from a scientific point of view, it is very interesting to find out what actually causes it, what caused it. And we know that it is hormonal dependent. And I think very few people think of a genetic alteration. And now we have found this gene that is very frequently mutated, up to 80%. The follow-up study, we actually have characterized a set of genes that seem to be able to push this benign tumor into a more aggressive entity, and the end of the spectrum is a type of tumor we call malignant phyllodes tumor. It's actually a cancer. As I said, it's much less common than the conventional breast cancer, but still, with this set of genes, we obviously can identify the patients with breast lump that may have potential to develop into a malignancy. But I don't want to scare people that it's still it's not a very common problem, but at least we now have a genetic tool to be able to tell which benign tumor may have this potential to develop into tumor. The BRCA obviously for breast cancer, which is a much more common entity, and but I think well, first of all, we found that the genetic alterations of fibroepithelial tumors are very different from the genetic alterations found in breast cancer. So clearly they are a distinct entity. Yeah. What I want to say is that there are going to be more and more cancer cases in many regions, especially in Asia. And a lot of them still or need to be studied because of the difference in ethnicity, environment, diet. There could be a lot of interesting findings that we're going to obtain from these studies. And our study is not just to, I think, sure, it will help us to understand the biology of these cancers from the scientific point of view, but it will also help us to understand the biology of cancer as a whole, including tumors from the West. So I think the breast fibroadenoma is probably a very good example because it is a very common problem both in the Asian population and Caucasian population. Yeah, the one that is the difference is the phyllodes tumor that is much more common in the Asian women compared with the Caucasian women.